Good morning, folks. It's your old Uncle Jason here, serving you up a hearty spiritual meal taken from the Epistle of Paul the Apostle to the Romans. It's a bit of a mouthful, but we'll roll with it. Today's chapter reading is from chapter 3. Let me see here. What advantage hath the Jew, or what profit is there of circumcision? Much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. Yea, let God be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. But if our righteous, but if our unrighteousness commend the righteousness of God, what shall we say? Is God unrighteous to the who taketh vengeance? I speak as a man. God forbid. For then how shall God judge the world? For if the truth of God hath more abounded through my lie unto his glory, why yet am I also judged as a sinner? And not rather, as we be slanderously reported, and as some affirm that we say, let us do evil that good may come, whose damnation is just? What then? Are we better than they? No, in no wise, for we have before proved both Jews and Gentiles that they are all under sin. As it is written, there is none righteous, no, not one. There is none that understandeth, there is none that seeketh after God. They are all gone out of the way, they are together become unprofitable, there is none that doeth good, no, not one. Their throat is an open sepulchre, with their tongues they have used deceit, and poison of apes is under their lips, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood, destruction and misery are in their ways, and the way of peace have they not known. There is no fear of God before their eyes. Now we know that what things soever the law saith, it saith to them who are under the law, that every mouth may be stopped, and all the world may become guilty before God. Therefore by the deeds of the law there shall no flesh be justified in his sight, for by the law is the knowledge of sin. But now the righteousness of God without the law is manifest, being witnessed by the law and the prophets, even the righteousness of God which is by faith of Jesus Christ, unto all upon them that believe, for there is no difference. And I'm having problems with these pages sticking together. I guess there we go. Now let's continue here. For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, being justified freely by his grace through the redemption that is in Christ Jesus, whom God hath set forth to be a participate. Propitiation. Apparently I can't English today. Let me see here. Through faith in his blood, to declare his righteousness for the remission of sins that are past, through the forbearance of God. To declare, I say, at this time his righteousness, that he might be just, and the justifier of him which believeth in Jesus. Where is boasting then? It is excluded. By what law? Of works? Nay, but by the law of faith. Therefore we conclude that a man is justified by faith without the deeds of the law. Is he the God of the Jews only? Is he not also of the Gentiles? Yes, of the Gentiles also, seeing it is one God, which shall justify the circumcision by faith and the uncircumcision through faith. Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law. Now, that's some good word today, folks. I gotta tell you, that is something. It basically saying that the circumcision, if you know what it is, you know what it is. If you don't, I recommend you looking up and study the history of it. It doesn't matter if you're circumcised or uncircumcised, you are justified through faith. And without faith, it is impossible to please God. Now, some would say there's a contradiction here. And whenever James comes through and he says faith without works is dead, it's one of those deals where they go hand in hand. You are justified through faith, faith in Christ, faith in the cross, faith in the deed thereon. But without works, simple belief is merely words and not actions. You shall know a tree by its fruits. So if you're not producing fruit, how then can you prove the faith that which you claim to have? The demons believe, and they tremble. Think about that. So it bears to say that both faith and works must go hand in hand. But at the end of the day, everything that is to be done must be done in faith. Otherwise, it's impossible to please Him. And they that worship God must do so in spirit and in truth. Let you think about that for a bit. So, I'm going to leave you today, folks, because I believe I don't want to say too much, because I might be guilty of saying something more that we'll cover in tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow for the next spiritual meal, chapter 4 of the Epistle of Romans. If you're feeling generous and God's leading you to do it, hit up my PayPal. It's in the description. It's also in my bio. You'll have to cut and paste it, because I can't hot link the dang thing. But I assure you, whatever you give is going straight to the Lord. I take nothing for myself. It's either put into my ministry or it's put into the church ministry. I encourage you, if you have any prayer requests, put them in the comments. I've got some subscribers that whenever they read it, they pray. They're my unofficial prayer warriors, as it were, as we all should be prayer warriors one to another, praying for one another and confessing the faults one to another. That's how the word goes. I don't give any details. I'm not asking for any details. I'm just saying, if you have a need and you need prayer, put it in the comments. Both myself, those that read it, and the people and the elders of my church, they'll be praying for you as well. Also, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer, and if anybody reading said comments can give the answer, by all means, give the answer. If you disagree with me, if you disagree with anybody posted on the comment section, by all means, let's have the conversation. We might learn something. Now, I assure you, please keep it respectful. It is written, let everything be done in order and in fashion. But I assure you, I will not judge whether or not, judge you for your stance that you say, because we all need to learn a thing or two. You might need to learn, I might need to learn. Or we both might be on the same page as somebody else might need to learn. You never know. So, until we meet again, folks, stay safe, stay blessed, and as always, stay in the shadow of the Almighty. This is your old Uncle Jason signing off.